As at age 12, I was no longer a virgin.
Do you want water?
I feel good.
It's okay. It's alright. We're fine.
As a divorcee, not just a divorcee, I'm an ex-pastor's wife. My ex-husband is a pastor, yeah. You see pastors, so now then nobody even do reach them. All these pastors, reverend fathers. I got married at a day after I completed 17. So I had my first child at 18. I had my second child at 19. So as at 2020, 2020, I wrote my first WAEC, that's first living certificate. I got into school. So as at then, I wasn't with my ex-husband anymore.
So wait, you got married at age 17?
Mm-hmm.
Your first child at 18, your second child at 19, and by age 20, you and your husband were separated.
Yeah. And I took in before the wedding, but we had an abortion.
Oh, wow.
So you had an abortion at 16 years?
Yeah, I had an abortion for him at 16. It's when I got pregnant, and he was like, hey, waiting, you can't be pregnant. And we're like, he took me to somewhere in where I base. So we took it off. Wait, make I off you, Nedu.
That's if a shock absorber is working.
Is it working? Are you sure it's working? So
then he can't say the day I touched you, I felt goosebumps. To a 16-year-old, you can't. They kept unprotected sex. You they rape 16-year-old. Give am belle come talk say, what will people say?
Do you know the sad thing about it? The people that were in the church, the elders, the deacons and deaconess, whatever thing they call them, none of them came to me one day and be like, what's going on between you and Papa? What happened? Why am I not seeing you in church? Instead, everybody went to him because he was the head.
What was the name of this church? Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I greet you today in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Happy Monday. How are you doing today? And God bless you. Now, there was this interview that was granted to the Honest Bunch by this lady here that you are seeing at the back of my image. Now, the content of that interview is very harrowing, and I would also want to plead with you. Now, I don't know how to cut off certain things that she said in the video because some of them are very reckless and, to some of us, it might sound very dirty and unsanctified. So I'm telling you ahead of time so that you would be prepared to hear some of the things that she said. But then when you critically looked into what she is saying, you probably would understand how far she has come and where she is today. And I wouldn't have brought this up if it doesn't have to do with my people, the people behind the lectern, and those we call men of God today. So her story is disturbing, but I would like it to play, and I want you to hear what she has to say. Then at the end of the video, I will come back and say one or two things. Happy viewing, and please may I ask you to share and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so before. Thank you very much, and God bless you. See you after this time out. Don't go away.
You are welcome to the End Time Truth Television, the channel for the lovers of truth, for the truth of the end time. So if you are a lover of truth, give us a subscription and God bless you. Shalom.
So most of them call it the only thing when I sabi for my life be that. Do you understand? But the thing be say, you no get anything wey be say I dey talk for my page wey nobody don't do for this life, wey nobody never do.
Bam. Even
pastors, now they carry am for head. Now them, you see pastors, so now them nobody even do reach them. All these pastors, reverend fathers, where they carry am for head, say they know you no get anything where they sabi. Now fan na one among so. Now they carry am for head pass. Speaking from experience.
Okay, wait. That experience now, that is where I want you to begin from. And interestingly, it's at a very tender age. What one would describe as a very tender age.
I know say you go shock una, but no worry, I go on 62 inches for una. Okay, so as a divorcee, make it no shock, you relax, take a chill pee, baby. As a divorcee, a lot of people be like, not just a divorcee, I'm an ex-pastor's wife. My ex-husband is a pastor, yeah. My ex-husband is a pastor. And people be like, how nobody even know. Not just inner people. They go when you pastor name in public. This great comment section will be like, do you even have family members? Is there you are just discussing your family members on social media? Your children will grow up. Your unborn children. That's as much as I'm just there being on my own. But what people do not really know about pastors is that they're also humans. They make mistakes.
Talking about you getting married to a pastor, because now that I'm just putting one or two together, that you got married to a pastor. At what age did you get married?
Okay, so I was born 1999, May 27th. So I got married May 28th, 2016.
Wow.
So you were born in 1999?
Yeah.
You got married in 2016?
Yeah, May 28th.
So at what age did you get married? Because I understand that you're married, you have kids, and then you're divorced. So at what age did you get married? If I just run us through the whole, we know the whole process.
Okay, I got married at a day after I completed 17.
Okay.
Yeah, a day after I completed 17. So I had my first child at 18. I had my second child at 19 because my first child is 7, going to 8 years. So as of 2020, 2020, I wrote my first WAEC, that's first living certificate. Yes, in 2020. And I got into school. So as of then, I wasn't with my ex-husband anymore. I was just on my own, trying to build up my life to see what happens in the nearest future. And that's it.
So wait, you got married at age 17, your first child at 18, your second child at 19, and by age 20, you and your husband were separated.
Yeah. So we started going through divorce thing. But truth be told, I don't really know how this divorce thing works because I was quite young. Yeah. So, but I can tell you that I didn't even enter witness box because I learned that someone has to enter witness box to pass the judgment. But then I went for a reality TV show in Lagos, Niger Hood Rebel, thereabout. So by the time I came back, my lawyer told me they already passed the judgment. Like, how can you guys pass judgment
without
me entering into the witness box? So they said it's okay. The judgment said it's dissolution of marriage, meaning that the marriage never existed.
So why did you get married at that age,
Bam.
so young? Like,
Truth be told,
were you forced?
Was your father owing money?
Yes.
That they used to settle the debt?
I didn't grow up with my parents to start with. I had a foster mom that trained me. So this guy happens to be her pastor.
They come visit.
Yeah, so one day my phone went bad back then. My phone was bad back then. Then I was using a torchlight phone given to me by my mom. I love her so much. She's my foster mom. So I saw a text message when she sent my number to him. So that was how the communication came in.
Okay.
Then we started talking. He was like, he wants to, it's not like we even, okay, that was in December 2015.
Okay.
That period, even to an extent, I had to stop talking to her because he wanted me to stay away from her. Yeah, I stopped talking to my mom.
What? Wait. Sorry. How old? What was your age difference? Yeah. What was the age difference between you and this pastor?
I think he should be like 31. Yeah, within 31 or 32 or 30. I can't even remember.
The age difference or his age then?
No, his age.
He was 31 when you were 17.
Yeah, I think.
You weren't an adult.
That's
17 am I known and I tried for Nigerian law.
What led to you guys getting married? What happened? Like I asked earlier.
Okay.
Did you you started from the part that they were owing your father?
The story
that they sent. What is the story that led to the marriage?
Okay. When we before we got married, he came after he was calling me on the phone. So he was like, the day I was by, then he touched me like to say goodbye of a thing, like he was leaving. Then he felt these goosebumps on his skin, and the Spirit of God told him that I was his wife.
No, but waiting lead for now to get, because I need make everybody get the gist proper. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, you live with your foster mother, yeah? Then your stepmama can't carry your number, send to Ram. Why did
as a child,
why did your stepmom,
I don't know,
send your number to a pastor?
I don't know.
And the pastor knowing fully well that this person is a child. That's pedophilia.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a predator.
So how did it lead to marriage? Or even that's what I don't aware.
That's me. I don't even know, because he was like, after he told me that he felt that goosebumps, and he said the Spirit of God told him that I was his wife, and that was how he made me move out from my mother's house, and I went to his own house. I started living with him within a period of 4 to 5 months. Then he got married to me, but I wasn't pregnant. He got married to me. Then my mother didn't attend the wedding. Like, that's my foster mother. And I learned that the people that wanted to attend the wedding, she told them that if you know, say they go this wedding, pack your things, they go. From there, you go face front, they go where they go. Meaning that she's angry about a thing. Like, she was angry about a thing that I didn't know.
And you didn't have a discussion with her?
I didn't. But
So what was the thing that she was angry about?
I don't know. I didn't even ask. When I came out from the marriage, I went to her, I knelt down crying. I said, Mama, forgive me because I betrayed you by following a man who misled me.
But she gave out your number now.
At age 17.
Now we are
You
no
were
rich
baby.
now, I tell you. So I don't want capital, I don't know.
So
Now we are no rich now, I tell
what
you.
ended the marriage?
What ended my marriage was, after I had my daughter, then we're just together. He was having an affair with someone. He was in love with someone that I happened to be a church member back then. So, but I didn't know, in as much as one security officer that is with him, and his PA was like, if they would be like, Mama, try carry your eye, calm down, because now you get the church, so they call me Mama, try carry your eye, calm down.
Mommy G.
No, yeah, Mommy G. Oh, no, be all calls where Papa they make now in church where they abroad. Then I will go and report to him. Look at what this person said.
Oh, wow.
Until one day after I had my daughter was like almost 2 months. He wants to discuss something with me. I was like, okay. He said he has been fighting with his spirit. That he has been fighting and he has been asking God why. But at the end of the day, he then said, God told me to divorce you and marry somebody else. And the person God told me to divorce you for is the church. Like, he mentioned the name. I wouldn't want to call her. That the person is actually his wife. And I was like, but trust me, I was not happy in the marriage. I was excited that I'm finally leaving this bondage. I knew there was something wrong when I was in the marriage. But I couldn't figure it out. I was okay being with him, but at the same time, I want to leave. I felt like pastoral thing wasn't my thing. Even when he ordained me as a pastor in his church. Nandi ame kalenda nisim.
Mami Gio.
No, but I want to ask something. Going back, at the age of 16, because I'm trying to, rehash the whole
17.
thing.
17.
Getting
A
married
day
at the
after
age-
17.
A day after 16.
17.
Okay?
A day after
So
17.
After 17. So you got married at the age of exactly 17 years old. There was a 16, 17.
She started living there for months, so that means she was 16.
So which
when
means
she
you
was
were
living.
16 when you started living with him. Now, by the time you were 16 when you started living with him, now before you started living with with him, you were living with your stepmom. How long did you live with your stepmom?
She's not really my stepmom. This is a woman that just saw me and loved me. Then she took me in.
Where were you then?
Enugu. So she
With
took me
who?
from Enugu to Delta with my
who?
mother.
With your mother.
Yeah.
So is your mom still alive?
Yes.
Okay, now she took you from your mother. How about your father?
Yeah, my dad is late now.
Your dad is late, so which means I'm so sorry. So your mom, she took you from your mom. Was it to train you?
Yeah.
Okay, now she took you to train you. Did she have her own children?
She had a daughter.
She had a daughter. Is your daughter older than you are or
Yeah.
younger? Now, is your daughter married?
Yes, now she is.
How old was she when you moved in?
I can't remember, but she was older than me. But I think she loved me more than the daughter.
Okay. Now, so you started living with her. Was she a churchious person? Was she more? She was a very religious person.
She was an actor, but now she quit acting. She had to quit acting she's now a pastor.
She's in Nollywood.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so you started living with her at that age. At how long did you live with her?
I lived with her all my life before
From what age did you? What age?
About
at what
7.
age? Did you, okay, you were 7, which means you were like 9. You lived with her for like 8, 9 years. Now, for those years that you lived with her, when did she start seeing the pastor?
The first time I knew about the pastor was in 2013 or 2012 crossover. I went there. Then I was having some issues.
At what age was that? Were you?
I cannot even remember, but I think 14 or so.
Okay. That's why that's why you started seeing the man. Now, what led? Because the truth is, if you ask me, and from what I'm sure most of you are thinking, the man must have been coming to the house, the pastor.
Yeah,
the
for
said
prayers.
pastor for prayers. And in go don they see small girl. In I don't they enter small girl. There must have been some sort of transaction between the pastor and your said foster mother that led to her sending your number to him. Now, after you saw the text of her sending your number to him, who called? Was it you that called, or you waited for him to call?
I didn't even know. I was just surprised to get his call.
From your phone or her phone?
From my SIM card. I was using her small phone that I put my SIM because my phone was bad.
Okay, and then when he called you, what was the first thing he told you?
Hello, this is so person. I was like, hey, good afternoon, sir. You know, when you never respect now.
Yeah,
good afternoon,
daddy.
Sir. He say, how are you? Okay, I'll come to you. Yeah, you people's house later. Shoot them, mama fly. I was like, okay, sir. And I told my mom that he called.
What did she say?
He said, okay.
And then she didn't, and after he came the first time, saw you in the house, did you tell her your conversation with him?
No. But she knew that, okay, I told her that he said he was gonna get married to me. And it was like, that's okay.
She was okay with it.
She was okay with it.
Now, that's crazy. So she was okay with a pastor that's 31 years older than you are.
No. The pastor was 31.
Was 31.
She was 17.
She was 17. The pastor was 10, which means
That's still a lot.
That's still a lot. I mean, it doesn't matter though, because people will get 50 years, and they marry 20 years something. So getting down with you, that is a minor. Now that is one crime on the corner. When did he start having sex with you? When did he start having sex with you? Were you still 16?
I was. That was in December. In December, he said he wanted. Okay, I think he went for my introduction. Was he in December? I can't even remember.
Before introduction, when did he start having sex with you?
Yes, and I took in before the wedding, but we had an abortion.
Oh wow.
So you had an abortion at 16 years?
Yeah, I had an abortion for him at 16.
So which Jesus Christ,
was he?
God have mercy.
Wait, was
before
he,
the wedding? Sorry, love, no vex, because before the wedding, when did you guys? Was this like a month or 2 or 3 months before
4.
you get 4 months after you guys started talking?
A period of December to May. Within this period, we got married to May 28th.
That was when you guys. Now, before the abortion, how many times can you say? Okay, we had sex like 10 times.
I can't. No, I can't.
It was multiple times.
We're just there like husband and
Vibes.
wife. Yes, when I got pregnant, and he was like, "Everything, you can't be pregnant." And we're like, he took me to somewhere in. Where I base. So we took it off. Yeah, we had an.
Can't be pregnant, but you people were having he was having unprotected sex with a minor, and he says you can't be pregnant.
What will people say?
So after that I had an abortion, and that was it.
So
And
you
then
said,
after the abortion, ask your questions.
you said earlier that your aunt was mad at the fact that you got married, But you also said that when you told her that he said he wanted to marry you, she said, okay. At what point did she start having bad energy? At what point did she start feeling the way she felt like she didn't want the marriage anymore?
During the introduction, I spoke to her about the introduction, but she said that nothing like that happened, that we were supposed to come properly. Like her house, the first place to do an introduction before business.
Now right, she dey even claim, no be say.
Oh, wait. So the introduction was done where?
In my father's house in Anambra State.
So she was claiming the right.
No, wait. The introduction was done in
Azonia
your father's house.
Zolomado. Do you understand?
As somebody that trained you.
You're supposed to come. I think to an extent, I feel like she's right. She was right though.
Wait, before the right and wrong. The introduction of a man who came to say he wanted your hand in marriage happened in your father's house.
Yeah.
Your father was alive at that time. He knows your age because na him born you.
I don't think my father ever knew my age. I don't think.
The umuna them they there. In brothers they there.
Yeah,
When they came for the introduction. The thing is, I've always my mom had 12 kids.
Yes, it's possible.
Yeah, my mom had 12 kids, but now we are now, that's 10 girls, 2 boys, but now we are 7 girls, 2 boys.
What type of family do you come from? Is it polygamous?
No.
Okay.
So wait, they came for the introduction and your family accepted them. Nobody raised an eyebrow about.
Yeah, because I brought them and they asked me, are you okay? Should we go ahead? I said, yeah, we can go ahead.
And nobody mentioned,
you are young or anything.
but this girl now, young girl, he never write WAEC, he never do this.
Wait, make I off you, Nidu.
That's if a shock absorber is working.
Is he working? Are you sure it's working? So this guy came and took list as only by introduction. Then he left. He never came back till after the wedding. He didn't pay my bride price before wedding, before getting married to me. Then after the wedding, I was pregnant. I ran away from the house. And I told him that if you don't go back to my village and go and do the necessary things, I won't come back to your house. Some church members got involved in it. Then finally, he gave me 100,000. I was pregnant. He said, take it to your father. I took public transport from Asaba to Anako. And I gave the money to my dad. My dad accepted the money because he said this money is for just part of the things in the list. Hold on, he said part of the things in the list, just give it to you. So when I gave the money to my dad collected it and distributed the items that he couldn't buy. So he monetized it and gave it to some kingsmen and all of that. And much later, he started claiming that he already paid my bride price.
And you do smart thing for your head.
So wait, I'm because normally Pekin come from family. You get people who ain't get Pekin. So with what you have explained now, it is clear that nobody had an issue with the whole
child marriage.
Yeah.
Nobody had an issue, and it would appear like this is something that was considered normal. That so long as say the girl, whether the person is a minor, he never become adult, say I want marry this person. If he collect list and bring all the thing when they list, they go collect her.
Now listen, the reason why it went that way was because nobody in my family or none of my uncle's children were that learned to know that this is wrong or this is right. Like in my family, also more
Are you serious?
yes,
She
and
says in her family, she's the only person that
Learned.
yes,
That's a
Where
bit
go
learned.
school?
Small.
because I've not graduated yet. I'm still in school.
So would you say that it was poverty that allowed your parents to
If my dad was rich when he was alive, I wouldn't go through whatever thing I went through. That's the thing. I would never.
so poverty and illiteracy.
Played a major role
Of
in
course.
it.
So of your other siblings, were you the only person that lived with a foster mother, or your siblings, other people took them and they lived with them?
Yeah, a few due to no much funds and all of that. But what I did when I started seeing small money from this social media stuff, what I did is only this one, like I'll bring this one back. I say I'll call the auntie, whoever the person is living with. I want my sibling to come back. I want him or her to go to school. So I have my younger ones in my house and I'm training them at Delta State Polytechnic.
Wow.
Do you understand? So that is how I've been pushing.
So as in no verse, I'm sorry. Let's go back to your family now. Your dad, if you were to describe, the financial status of your dad
Zero.
and your mom, what would it be?
Zero.
Did he have a job? Was he a farmer? What was he doing exactly?
Okay, the thing is that I was born as a rich kid. I never lacked nothing. My dad had his own house in Enugu State. So I never had nothing until one time he had an accident and killed someone. He went to jail for years. Wow. So by the time he got back, he lost everything. We moved from 2-bedroom to a room and parlor, from a room and parlor to just one room, then demarcated with cotton. Yeah, that was how everything went. Then shoot bird, mama fly. My dad was into what do they call them? They are Nebute Wood that owns lorries that buys wood from the north.
Tipper.
Do you understand? He had all of that, but he lost everything after the accident he had. And so that was how. Okay, but one thing my mom told me was that when I asked my mom, why is it that my dad can no longer provide the things he used to provide? My mom said, your dad went back to office because he had an Oga. Oga told him that in order for you to continue this work, you have to drive 2 cars the same time. I didn't understand what she meant by that. Even till now, when my dad had to drive, he has to drive 2 cars at the same time. But my dad refused to drive. He said they cannot drive 2 cars at the same time.
That's literally now.
It's not possible. You don't want to give them the thing. You don't want to collect them back.
I didn't know what it means back then. But me, I knew as a child, I knew that it's never possible to drive 2 cars. It's not possible. Where you want to the mash break?
At the same time.
So he had the 12 kids before that happened?
No, he had 6. I think the 7th one. No, I think the 8th one, number 8, because we were looking for boy. So the boys came late.
Hence the 10 girls and then 2 guys.
So they came late. 1 before me, 1 after me.
Now, there's a lot of things we need to talk about. Going by the question that Tone asked you, it means poverty played a major role in how things turned out with you. I mean, because at the age of 16, you started having sex at the age of unprotected sex.
At age 12. Yes. At age 12, I was no longer a virgin because I was molested.
You're molested?
Yes.
By neighbors.
Can you tell us what happened?
I don't want to get emotional.
Oh.
So at age 12, I was no longer a virgin. So he wasn't the one that took my virginity.
I'm trying not to ask the question. I'm so sorry, first of all, to start with. I wouldn't want to rehash the experience. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Was it where you were living with your auntie? Was it a family member?
When I traveled from her house to go see my family in Enugu back then, that was when it happened.
You traveled on your own?
No, I had an auntie that I traveled with. But I never said anything to anybody because I was asked not to. So it was my elder sister who noticed that my movement changed. So she started asking me what was wrong with me and all of that. Before she knew, I started having boil. So my elder sister took care of everything.
How old? What's the age difference between you and your elder sister?
Someone should be like about 7 years older than me.
Okay.
You started that was when you started having boil. That's when you started. Wow.
Because she was asking me. I was like, nothing is wrong with me. So why are you working like this? I started wearing my brother's clothes. My elder brother, I started putting on his joggers in order for me to feel good when I'm working. And that's it.
Then he can't say the day I touched you, I felt goosebumps. To a 16-year-old, you can't. They kept unprotected sex. You they rape 16-year-old. Give am belle, can't talk, say, what will people say?
Do you know the sad thing about it? The people that were in the church, the elders, the deacons and deaconess, whatever thing they call them, none of them came to me one day and be like, what's going on between you and Papa? What happened? Why am I not seeing you in church? Instead, everybody went to him because he was the head.
What was the name of this church?
Is he okay?
What is the name of? Okay. What's the name of this church? Is it a popular church?
It's his own church.
What is the name of the church?
Save the World.
Save the World Ministry.
Evangelical Love Ministry.
Is it in Lagos?
No, Delta State.
Okay. Now, and the whole members, both old one and young ones, none of them bother to ask you. And shamingly, sorry to use that word, shamingly, they were calling a 16 years old, 17 years old mama.
Wow.
Make that make sense to me.
But you know the saddest thing? After he divorced me and he went for the woman, he said God chose for him, honorable girl though. Then they both got married. We're still in court, according to the girl, when they got married. Because the girl reached out to me and told me after she was pregnant and she lost her child, she was pregnant for him. And shoot bird, mama fly, they said they were not doing it again. He went and took his bride price that he paid. That's say you no do again. The girl now came to me when I said, okay, what did my ex tell you? We even
make you come back to me.
No, we even make you even agree Mariam. Then she said, number one mistake she made, that she knew that the guy was married, but she still went ahead. Then the guy told her that the spirit of his late father and the spirit of her that's the girl's late mother, told him that he should never leave her alone, that he should send her. I have the voice note on my phone that she sent to me after they had
it.
Sorry.
I can.
How old was this girl?
Can you search for it?
Yes, where is my other phone?
Please,
can I have my other iPhone?
Bring the phone, please. Let's
she's mature. She's a graduate.
She's older than you.
That's the phone. Can we hear it?
So in March of 2019, he now told me that he wants to come visit me in Benin. Because then I was schooling in Uniben, that he has a program. He's coming to Benin for a program that he wants to use the opportunity to see me. So I said, okay, now come now, I'll go host you. That kind of thing.
Sister.
So he came, he was like, that what he told me the last time, that he's really serious, that he saw my mother. My mother's spirit told him that me and him are going to be together. His father's spirit too told him, you know how they say they talk now. So me, I was quite flabbergasted because I was like, bro, you're married. You already have kids. Like, you already have kids and you have a wife. And your wife is actively involved in your life and everything. So, like, I don't understand. How do you want me to come into this kind of thing? Yes, you're a nice guy. You are generous. You are okay. But marrying you, like, I can't. When I started begging that please, this one, that one, I was like, okay, fine. What's going to happen is that let's just be friends. Let's just be friends. And I told him there strictly, I said, I cannot have sex with you. God bear me witness. I did not have sex with little David until far into 2019. Yeah, far into 2019 when he now came and told me that you are. And that was after David's birthday of 2019. I think there was an issue you guys had.
So his name is Little David. Now, Pastor, what do they call Little David?
He's a prophet. He's a genuine man of God.
A genuine. See, sadly, I the only thing I can do to how sad I am about this issue is to laugh because it's funny. Now, this lady, after him tell her say the spirit of him papa and the spirit of her mama, then they say the most. How old was she when he was giving this lumber?
She, I think she should be around now. She should be around like 28, 29.
So she was like 20 something.
25 back then.
25 back then. Now, the question why I also want to ask Nancy.
Well, I don't know her age, but she was really looking mature.
Okay, at that time.
Yeah.
So I can't categorically say, because I was thinking that maybe a young girl he'd be too, I would have categorized him as a pedophile.
He's still a
outright pedophile. Well, of course, he's still engaged in that, because you go sleep with a person will never reach.
Now, before I delve into other things, the statement, her beginning statement, may make sense to so many of us, and to some of us, it may not completely be what it should be. Now, when she started by making the statement that all these pastors, now then they do pass. Now, that is like painting a whole lot of people with same brush and same color. And that actually may not be right. Yes, we will admit the fact that so many pastors have betrayed. They've betrayed God and they've betrayed the people that have been assigned to them. Some of these pastors too, I keep saying that some of them are not serving God. They just find an avenue of making money, and so they have found out what is selling in the Nigerian church space, and so they came in and they are doing what they are doing. And so you won't expect somebody that is not in any way a child of God to behave godly. Now, the problem is that all of them are categorized with one word, pastor or pastors. And at the same time, you need to understand that a Fulani herdsman in the bush is also a pastor, because, the pastorate is all about shepherding and giving directions and leadership. So when you see, a cow, either big or small, because you are not in that business, there is always a sense of carefulness within you. You want to be very careful. Now, you don't want to, come too close to the cow because you feel that the cow will hurt you. Now, but not so with the herdsman who has had ideas and knowledge on how to direct his cows. Sometimes you see a very little child would come and give a cow a command, and the cow will just kowtow and bow and obey the simple instruction from a very little child, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years old. But that is what you cannot do. You will not even come close to that. So even the headsmen, they are pastors too. But the difference is that they are pastoring animals. But these people are pastoring humans, and in return, turning the humans that they claim to be pastoring into animals. Now, that is why a pastor will make his congregants to eat grass. They will do it. He will give them petrol to drink. They will drink it. And some, after drinking it, will say the petrol has a taste of a pineapple juice. Now, some would not mind giving their congregation live rats, mouse to eat. All right. So they have succeeded in a way turning these people, humans, into animals. Isn't that the reason why a pastor will ask his members to come with their underwears, their pants to church? Because he would want to pray for them over their pants, and you will see them come with the same thing, because their mindset have been numbed. They don't reason again, like humans. So we have a lot of individuals who have been hurt by these fake persons that have been, introduced into the church, brought into the church by the enemy of God, the arch enemy of God, Satan, the devil. Now, unfortunately, the people themselves don't have the discerning, power to know the difference between the left and the right. Why is it so? Because we are so lazy to actually find God on the pages of the Bible. ourselves. Because if we know enough of the word of God, now there are certain things that no matter how highly placed your so-called man of God, is, there are certain things he will want you to do. You would know that this one is not in agreement with the will of God, so you won't do it. Now, coming back to this girl was so young, and if her story, which I believe is true, if the story she told is true, and I believe is true, that means that the so-called pastor, molested the girl at the age of 16, and that is supposed to be a crime, isn't it? But unfortunately, Nigeria is a place where anything goes. The only people who suffer in Nigeria are those who don't have any godfather. And so many people have tagged those who don't have money. This picture, because this is the only picture that I saw. Now, if this was a country that the church, this girl's interview alone was enough to call save the pastor, for him to give an account. Because from my search, I found out that church is still there. Now, a girl that was impregnated at the age of 16, and then got married at the age of 17, became a mother at the age of 18 and 19. After that, she was divorced on the instruction of God, according to the pastor. According to the story of the girl, allegedly, God told him not to continue marrying the girl. Meanwhile, if you were not lost out on the girl's story, it was the same God that mandated the man to marry this girl, start living with this girl immorally at the tender age of 16. The same God told him to marry the girl. The same God probably told him to abort the girl's pregnancy because of what people would say maybe about the same God. And so you need to understand that there is definitely a different God that spoke to him. The same God that told him to marry the girl came back and said, no, I made a mistake. So it is no longer you, it has to be another person. Okay, so, and you see, me, I am a bit flustered. I'm a bit surprised that we can find something like this happening in Anambra State. Formerly, I've not listened to the story, deeply until I got to know where the girl is from. We know that this kind of a thing happens in the north. With all due respect, I'm not trying to malign the people from the north. No, not at all. And most especially, it happens in the other religion. Now, to see this happen in my state is a bit disturbing. And more disturbing is that, this girl was married off by her own kinsman, and I believe the father was alive then. And probably you look at it, it might be the fantasy of, she's getting married to a man of God, a pastor. And so they are, a kind of flabbergasted by the fact that a pastor is going to be in-law. Now, because in the past, it was not fancied. It was not fancy for getting married to a pastor in the past, because pastors were considered, to be poor, wretched people, good for nothing people. But these days, because of the abracadabra that has come into the church, most people believe that pastors, that is where the in thing happens now. Even though that have said not all pastors are fake, but with the kind of life of affluence and opulence that pastors choose to live this day, example of is the Toby Adegboyega that we talked about. I'll bring that BBC documentary on him. I'll bring it again. Now, so I wouldn't know. Or could it be the poverty that made adults look at a girl child, and would gleefully give her out in marriage? And the so-called foster mother, I was listening to know why she became angry. I didn't know that she was angry because of entitlement. She was feeling entitled that the introduction could have been or should have been done in her place first. All right. Now, this is very, very disturbing. I really don't know how to fix this. But pastor, so this is that thing that when it happens, you begin to ask yourself, which God? Like some persons that will tell us God told them, Jesus told them that Apostle Paul's writing are not as important. God told them to go to court. The same God now is telling, now if you believe that God told that man, these things I've said, I don't have any right to doubt that God told this man the same thing, that he should not marry her again, and then got married to another person. Now, is it not stupid? When you are getting married to a 16-year-old girl, what do you expect from a 16-year-old girl? Now, and my search on the internet reveals this person as the pastor of that church. So, which means that, and so many people have tagged this picture, because this is the only picture that I saw that matched the name of the church that she called Save the World Evangelical Love Mission. So you will tell me, what is about salvation, you know, in these stories? What has love got to do in this kind of story? All right. Now, and she went through all this, and you see, the next stages of her journey in life, you know, was occasioned by the betrayal of this devil called a pastor. Kudos to the girl that she refused to be broken, but she came to the point where her life was shattered, but she refused to give up. And so that's why sometimes we don't judge people just because we came in contact with them at once and we met them. There are so many scars that people have had, and so when they behave according to that, those scars. When they speak according to those scars, because you were not there in their lives to know what they had gone through. But it is so painful and heart, wrenching that such experiences could be traced to a pastor. The parents of this girl closed their eyes and gave out their own daughter, age 16, probably bamboozled them with prophecies. And so they couldn't say no, they couldn't reject it. And they may even consider themselves privileged that a man of God, God has blessed them so much that a man of God is about becoming their son-in-law, brother-in-law. You see? So, they closed their eyes to other things that they should have looked at. I mean, the girl was so tender. She was so tender. And at the end of the day, this God of the Bible told you, a pastor, and you are fighting with your spirit. You are a devil. You are a devil. And you see, the Bible has said that though hands join together with hands, no matter the agreement you have, you will never go unpunished. All of you that are desecrating the church, all of you that are the reason why church is being reproached, you will never go unpunished. God will get all of you. You will not go unpunished. And don't worry. The judgment of God is awaiting you, except you repent. This is wickedness in the highest order. This is wickedness in the highest order. These are carnivorous animals. They are not fit to live among humans. But God will save us. God will help his church. God will sanitize his church. Thank you, people. God bless you. See you in the next video. Till then, from me to you. Shalom.